Africa, endowed with an expanse of natural resources, fresh, untapped opportunities, a people whose hope never runs out, and communities who, despite the big growing globe, have managed to maintain their values, beliefs, and their strong sense of community. One would say that Africa is the friendliest place to live. It's true, Africa is indeed beautiful, yet still, majority of her people struggling to make a living daily. People who go to bed not knowing where their next day's meal is going to come from, if their children would go to school, having an uncertain future. They are vulnerable, unable to meet their needs, and have limited choices. This, in simple terms, is poverty. At the heart of the fight against poverty is Stromme Foundation East Africa, which is the Eastern Africa regional office for the Norwegian-based international development organization Stromme Foundation. Established in 1976 to continue the great work initiated by a Norwegian pastor, Olaf Christian Stromme, who had a desire to help people in need.
The vision of Stromme Foundation is a world free from poverty. It is quite ambitious, but we believe that we are contributing to reducing or eradicating poverty in the world.
The organization is currently operating in 13 countries located in the regions of Asia, South America, West and East Africa. Stromme Foundation exists to eradicate poverty by providing opportunities and empowering partnerships to support the poor in crossing the poverty line through education and microfinance. The East Africa office covers Kenya, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda.
We support basic education. It's really about promoting literacy and numeracy skills. And non-formal education is about education that equips somebody with skills that go further than simply numeracy and literacy. So under formal education, we support basic education in primary schools in support of the Millennium Development Goals. So we work with communities to set up small nursery schools or support those that are existing with government infrastructure, but not so much government secondary support in terms of teachers, in terms of learning materials and desks and stuff. Members of one community, really like a village or sometimes half of the village, come together. They identify themselves, they come together into a savings group, and then they start saving. They start small and then they save the money and lend to each other. They use their own savings. Stromme Foundation does not give them money like a revolving fund. What Stromme Foundation does is give a grant to the partner organization that is facilitating them. So the partner organization then can be able to have staff in place, can be able to procure training materials, can be able to give them startup kits.
Covering a total of 364,898 square miles is Tanzania, with Mount Kilimanjaro and Meru, respectively the highest and fifth highest peaks on the continent, mirrored by a cultural diversity embracing 120 distinct tribes. In the pastoralist community of Munduli is MPDI, that Stromme partnered with in the area of early childhood development.
The distribution of job in Maasai, everybody has something to do. Like elders, they have their role. Women, they have their role. Young mother, they have their role. And grandmothers also, they have their role. And even children, the very, very young children, they have something to do in the community. So from there, we conducted the research, which inform us what to do, which actually tell us what exactly the community want to do.
At Mutimoja Primary School, Stromme Foundation, through MPDI, was able to donate desks and set up classrooms that have increased the school population.
Of which these classes we use they use the children in the afternoon, and when they go home, sometimes we use the classes for adult education. So it is a multi-purpose classes.
Tahea, located in the rock city of Mwanza, is also a partner in early childhood education.
If the child between 0 to 8 is not well developed, actually a country can have very little investment. We believe early childhood is human development.
Through Tahea's mobilization, the communities of Mwanza took the initiative to establish community-managed centers for their children of Monze, Igombe, Kubangaja, Nyamilolelwa, and a para-teacher training center to which they contribute to the cost of the teachers.
Kupitia mradi lakini tumefikia hata watoto kwenda sekondari. Tuna sekondari mbili sasa katika kata ambazo pia watoto wengine wanabaki bila kuchaguliwa. Elimu ya watu wazima tunayo. Idadi kubwa ya watu pale karibu 12% mpaka 15% hawajaenda shule. Yani hawajui kusoma na kuandika ni tatizo.
9th July 2011 witnessed the birth of a new state in the world, following a referendum that passed with 98.83% of the vote after years of prolonged war and instability that led to many youth and adults not able to access school.
It is believed that actually up to 92% of the people staying in South Sudan first of all are illiterate. Over 80% live also in the rural areas. Now, if 92% are illiterate, certainly you can see the relationship.
In an effort to reduce this huge literacy gap, government has had to come up with alternative learning programs for children, youth, and adults. To boost the education sector in South Sudan, Yei Teacher Training College is also on hand to train and upgrade the quality of teachers for primary schools.
We started getting students from all over this country. There was one particular year where we got funding to get students from all the 10 states of South Sudan. So it was scholarship for 100 students, and it was automatic that we get 10 from each state. And that opened up Yei Teacher Training College to the rest of this country, and people came to grips to the realization that yes, we have a college, a viable college here.
Implemented mainly in South Sudan, the program provides learning opportunities for such young people whose education was disrupted as a result of the long war years. Stromme Foundation supports Community Girls Schools, CGS, and Accelerated Learning Program, ALP. The ALP provides an opportunity for young people who did not complete or even start a basic education to complete or start their primary education and finish within 4 rather than the mandatory 8 years.
Before we had been in war for so long, and some of our people who got chance to be in exile, so they have that chance of education in the foreign countries. But those who remained here during war, there were no schools, people were running in the bush. But when we come back to peace, the knowledge that we have got, we should not leave it to die, but as in we are beginning, we have to continue so that we bring this new nation.
On the other hand, CGS is a 3-year program that targets girls between the ages of 8 and 13 who did not get a chance of going to school, mainly due to having to travel long distances to school and the prolonged war in South Sudan. After 3 years of study, the pupils join primary school. Away from the regular education programs, Stromme has also supported vocational skills training in South Sudan and Uganda to equip youth with occupational skills and empower them to be productive. Training is mainly through apprenticeship, community-based and informal training. In 2012 alone, Stromme had about 400 participants, 63% of whom were girls who enrolled and completed. Stromme's Mazungumizo program, also known as Shonglap, aims at empowering adolescent girls who missed school, often as a result of early marriages, domestic violence, poverty, and lack of a voice in community. The program imparts basic literacy and numeracy skills, life and occupational skills to these girls through a 6-month period.
Yani lubo ni nangan mindi lubo sangulam na asan nan pa henda bong mi mindi henda bong mi mindi denda hanya nan ngarahin bori benan pujo ngolo ling kola lelulun.
Over 1,000 girls have been reached out to since the program started in 2011.
Yes, these girls are dropouts, but some of them have been in a long time of war, like the girls in South Sudan and the girls in northern Uganda, where there was the civil war for over 20 years. So some of these girls were either defiled when they were kidnapped, and many of them are just returnees. So when they come to the centers, they're quite withdrawn. They have a very low self-esteem. But after going through the dialogue for the 9 months, then they're like, oh, so I'm important. It has not only benefited the girls, it's benefiting the entire community.
Cream in Arua also partnered with Stromme to establish Shonglap in the community of Barakala in Yumbe district.
The target age group is between 13 years to 19 years old. In Yumbe district, we have 15 centers. Out of these 15 centers, in each center, we recruit 25 girls, adolescent girls who don't go to school. And then we get for them a trainer. Their trainer is known as animator. We give them basic skills for 6 months. These girls have really changed the community.
The truth is, the issues surrounding poverty are quite inextricably linked to each other. And the best approach to eradicating poverty is to be holistic in all interventions. Aside from education interventions, Stromme Foundation East Africa facilitates interventions in community and institutional microfinance.
Stromme Microfinance is a wholesale lending company. It is a business arm of Stromme Foundation to help it reach out to the enterprising poor. Stromme Microfinance does not retail financial services. It works through partners.
Pride Microfinance in Arusha, Tanzania was established in 2010 as a subsidiary of Pride Tanzania and is one of the largest microfinance institutions with 70 branches. Largely focusing on smallholder farmers that have agribusiness value chains, more than 5,000 farmers and 31,000 borrowers have been reached.
There was independent consultancy report that was financed by the European Economic Union in 2011, which actually showed that the majority of the farmers had actually benefited from our program.
Through Stromme funding, PRFW has been able to establish the housing microfinance package for the communities of Babati. PRFW is looking to servicing more than 100 clients for the housing finance products and targeting more than 80,000 farmers by the year 2015. Micro Africa in Nairobi, Kenya started in 2000 and exists for the transformation of livelihoods of clients who are in viable economic activity through provision of financial solutions.
Before I was a hairdresser, I used to hairdress women in front of my plot, and that business was not earning more. So I changed the business and started up rental houses, which I went to Micro Africa. They gave me a first loan, and I was able to construct nice houses than before. Now I have 20 houses, and before I used to earn 30,000 a month, but now I'm earning an income rate of 91,000 a month.
With more than 100 clients of the Macau Poa product, livelihoods are surely being improved. At Uganda Microcredit Foundation, small and medium-sized loans are being offered and other microfinance services to the economically active people of Uganda.
So UMF and Stromme, it was really very easy to pair up because we both have the same focus, social lending and targeting really the people at the grassroots. Stromme has given us a number of loans. They give us soft loans in terms of lower interest rates. So we are in position to extend the same to our clients at the grassroots.
Margaret Muyanja started with a loan of 1 million shillings and slowly progressed to 5 million. Presently, she has bought a house and runs a small-scale restaurant.
Kulwange nebaliza ddala ebibiina ebyo ebizze nga biyambako ku bantu okubanga babawola ssente ne basobola okukola ki ozizzaayo kubanze nfunyemu. Abantu abamu ajjayo ssente lwa kinyumu naye nga talina kigendererwa, naye bw'ojjayo ssente ng'olina ekigendererwa ssente tezisobola kukulemerera.
Approximately 320 kilometers from Kampala is Hofokam in the district of Fort Portal. Hofokam exists to provide village banking, solidarity group loans, individual loans, and agricultural loans.
The loans we get from Stromme, compared to other development partners, our business here, they are favorable. We don't borrow here to pay there, no. We get that money from Stromme, give out loans to clients. Clients pay back to us. They pay with the interest. Then we pay off the loan of Stromme.
Hofakam ngitandikira hanyuma y'emyaka ena enyuma. Obunatalabanize mu school fees nkagenda mu Hofakam banyamba omwaka gumu. Hanyuma obunarozire school fees zaba zanyamba nagaruka kusaba sente z'obulimi. Nasaba ez'obulimi nazo mwaka gumu na school fees na ngumizamu nazo nibampa. Obunarozire by'obulimi nagenda nimbigobora kusinzira mu sente zibampaire hata nagenda kusaba sente z'okwombeka. Natandika kuyombekera amaju n'obugaraba gatakahoire mu kisane kimugasangiremu bitu ebintu ebimbihire.
Closely linked to institutional microfinancing is the community-managed microfinance that involves community members forming small, manageable groups and securing small loans with very low interest rates that enables them to start small businesses in order to increase their household incomes. Currently, there are 22 partner organizations implementing CMMF spread across the 4 countries. CBS Pewosa in Uganda is one of the leading CMMF organizations that Stromme is working with. Saving groups are formed with members contributing an agreed amount of money and sharing the profits from the savings per annum. Meet Namatovu Teopista, a member of Akafeche CMMF group that has benefited from this arrangement.
Mu myaka 5 nina ekiroto mu maaso. Nsubira nga nja kudda mu baati kubanga kati wendi ndi mu ssubi ate nga ku myaka gyange nze siryagala ne project yali gyali eri wala eri mpigi njagala waka wano njagala project y'enkoko ngisembeze nzimbe wano ebenge eri wano nze ndi omu kwabo abakkiriza nti nsobola okugaggawala nga mpise mu Stromme CBS Pewosa.
Through CBS Pewosa, Kabwama Godfrey expanded his Amagezi Bugaga knife factory and now makes 20 knives a day with an average income of 40,000 shillings. He even named his cow Stromme CBS Pewosa. Nebi district, bordered by Arua to the north, Amuru to the northeast, Noya to the east, Bulisa to the southeast, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC, to the south, and Zombo district to the west. Through WENIPS, Stromme is able to reach out to the fishing communities of Nebi.
We came into partnership in 2011, and in September 2011 with a target of 20 groups to be on board by December. By December 2011, we surpassed the target by 6 groups. We had 26 groups in 4 sub-counties. And in 2012, we had a target of 70 groups. By the end of December 2012, we had 115 groups. When I look at the investment in the partnership, over this period, Stromme had invested close to 200 million. And when you look at the multiplier effect in the communities, these 170
64 groups have generated a cumulative savings of over 300 million.
Stromme's development approach makes effort to integrate the two prongs of education and microfinance in a synergetic relationship for more sustainable, holistic growth and development. A good example of this symbiosis is what was achieved through Tahea Mwanza.
When you mobilize the communities, you sensitize them on that they have to invest in their young children because it pays off.
Kabla CMFF hajafika hapa, nafikiri nilikuwa sijapata hata mwelekeo wa kujua kwamba maisha yangu yatakuwaje. What is my life going on? But the CMFF came here. I see my life is going on and changes from one place to another.
Also, when you invest in, as we have been working, it is easier to track the child for enrollment later in primary school. It is easier also for planning and to follow up with the local leaders that some people in the households, are they taking the children to school?
Sports, culture and arts, together with life skills training, have been identified as an important means to provide leadership to young people, promoting knowledge and aiming at behavioral change so as to reduce substance abuse, engaging in activities that perpetuate HIV and AIDS, reducing social risks, and empowering them with skills to help them break the poverty cycle. In Uganda, Stromme partners with Child Restoration Outreach, CRO, in Mbale to reach out to street children through sports, arts and culture.
CRO started being supported by Stromme Foundation way back in 2001. And we are implementing the community-based education intervention program and also the sports facility project. Mainly here, we are involved in vocational training. They support us in resettling the children. We also have community outreach programs that we do in the advocacy for the children. And also in terms of the sports area, they are helping us through Start Life Support is a club in Norway, which is helping us in establishing the sports facility as you use so, and especially to develop nurture talent for future use, also for CRO, and also to promote them to another level.
A well-facilitated sports field has been set up to this effect. James Alito, one of the beneficiaries, is now a student at St. Mary's College, Jutende, on the soccer scholarship. Stromme also partners with CRISC Kenya to pass on sports and life skills to youth across East Africa.
Everyone loves sports and they love football. So if football is the initial contact, then when we bring them to, we play football, then we start the rehabilitation process.
Matthew was a former street child and is now helping CRISC Kenya rescue kids that were once like him.
Before I joined CRISC, I used to live in a slum. If you are in a very bad situation, you have to get involved in some crime, drugs. As for me, I wasn't a criminal or something, but I used to carry luggages for people, then go back to the slum, take a lot of weed, take a lot of other substance. So it was really bad and it was cold, dirty, and all that. That was pretty much my life. Maybe prison, drugs. Before my redemption, I did a lot of prison. Yeah. I'm planning to go to university for I want to do computer science. But right now I'm planning to do mobile application because many people are going mobile.
Ralph Waldo Emerson, an American essayist, poet, and leader of the transcendentalist movement in the early 19th century, said, "Bad times have a scientific value. These are occasions a good learner would not miss." With all the amazing success stories comes great challenges.
Just like any other development organization, we do face some challenges. And some of those are quite generic, like the political situation in South Sudan. But there are also others that are quite specific. For example, in some of the communities that we have been to, in Karamoja and in Masai Mara, the communities are so widespread because of a thin population density. So it becomes very difficult to mobilize people, especially into the community managed microfinance groups.
There's limited funding. So the limited funding actually does not enable us to support them, especially very deeply as far as capacity building is concerned.
A great philosopher, Eleanor Roosevelt, said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Where does Stromme go from here?
In the next 5 years, we would like Stromme Microfinance to be known as the preferred housing microfinance referred organization.
We want to strengthen the role of advocacy, and especially evidence-based advocacy in what we do, so that the right holders may do their role. Because as an agency, we phase out, but the right holders will remain. We are going to work in the poor, vulnerable communities of the Eastern Africa region, where we'll mobilize people in groups of 20 to 30. They will save, and then they will lend to each other from the savings. But these groups will also be used as a platform to address other community concerns in the community. In this strategic period, we hope to have 5,000 groups with about 150 people. And these groups, 70%, we aim to have 70% women and 60% are going to be youth. And through these groups, we also hope to realize 60% increase in household incomes. The other strand of livelihood enhancement we are going to look at is to do with institutional microfinance, where we give loans to properly established microfinance institutions. And through the loans to microfinance institutions, we are going to do this through our shareholding company, Stromme Microfinance East Africa, and we hope to reach 2,000 people by the end of 2018.